Here's today's truth, ladies and gents. Not everything on TV is truth, especially when it is designed to manipulate emotions. So, big documentary, hottest thing on Netflix right now. The new documentary called on The Biggest Loser. I don't know what it's called. Sensationalized, emotionally charged, and missing a lot of context. So, I encourage you to watch. What's up? Hi. Hi. I know. What's going on? How you doing? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, before you guys can do anything, like this video, share this video, do all things with this video. I'm Anthony Michael Russo. That's Kelly, just an absolute gem. She was critiquing. She was just got done critiquing my weed whacking skills, but I'm asking for feedback instead of we need another weed whacker. Anyways, so this is. Trust me, it'll grow back. Anyways, so ladies and gents, focus, eye on the prize. If you guys can, today is the last day that we will be doing the free Wednesday night Speaking with Intention. If you want to go to it, tonight is your night. If you've been wanting to check it out before we do a very, very low monthly charge, which it will be very, very low, to be a part of that membership, like $15 if you could do it right away. And that will include all those speaking classes, plus some other stuff, plus the community, all of that. So Shirley doesn't like using the weed whacker. I like it for the workout purpose, but I couldn't lift my arms last night, but apparently I cut the grass too short. So check that out. If you want to check that out, I'm going to keep saying check that out. Go to doubledownspeaking.com. Again, doubledownspeaking.com. After today's class, it will be switching to the membership funnel. So make sure you check it out. If you want to register, it's free. It's a lot of fun. We've got a great community that goes there week after week after week, and I hope they continue to keep going after it. Second, make wellness bioprecision peptides. Go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. And then one other thing, the Speaking Bootcamp is, as of right now, on Saturday. We do need a couple more people to jump in. It's going to be very intimate, so it'll be a great experience. You'll probably get a lot more one-on-one than the typical boot camp will be in the future. So if you want to get on that, use $100 off for $100 off. All you got to do is go to speakingbootcamp.com. Again, that's speakingbootcamp.com. If we don't get enough people, we are going to push it to either push you to the September, October, or give you a refund if it just doesn't work out. Whatever works, we'll figure it out. We'll work on your schedule. But that's it. We're trying to figure that out. So if it's going to happen, it's got to happen this coming tonight. Tonight, we're making the final call whether or not we're going to keep it for this weekend. So at Anthony Michael Russo for all the stuff on Instagram, go and check that out. Let me get into this because I got to go to my Christian entrepreneurship call right after this. It is Wednesday morning worship. So I want to talk about The Biggest Loser. Shout out to my buddy, Big Vinny Official, guy I met at the Speak Off, because I was watching this documentary and she's still talking in the background. Anyways, so with this documentary, there's a lot in it with people that the 5 people they selected were very targeted, and I'll say that. Also, some of the science is selective in terms of the fact that they said the people's metabolism would be 5 times slower because a lot of them gained the weight afterwards. They put the weight right back on. And actually, the people that had the biggest issue with the show are currently now thinner. Also have taken Ozempic. They had issues with caffeine pills that they were offering, but now they're taking pharmaceuticals, which again, I'm not against terzipatide and semaglutide. I'm not against that at all. But I think it's interesting, the selective thing, because now they're getting attention for the fact that they did not like being on the show. One woman, Tracy, I think was her name, hated the fact that they were not cheering her on for making it to the next round when she was not liked by anybody on the show. And she wasn't doing any of the work, and she was sabotaging the group. Like, that's called why you're not liked and wanting to be on the show. So they were playing to people's emotions that we're watching. And I watched the video of my buddy, Big Vinny, who Had nothing but great things to say. They made fun of the trainers on the show about the fact that they're not trained psychologists and they were setting people up for very dangerous outcomes because they were just doing pseudo psychology. Whereas Big Vinny said that they actually had a psychologist on site for his season. And it was actually how he got over his relationship, his broken relationship with his family and his mother. And he's still friends with that psychologist today and still friends with the trainer that he had on the show today. So it's like there was a lot of things that were very selective and I don't think allowed full answers. And it was just very targeted. So remember, TV is always out for blood. The same when it comes to politics, the same when it comes to Netflix documentaries. You can look at the Poop Cruise one. You could look at this one specifically. They all are a range of things that play on our emotions. Plain and simple. The editing is strategic. The stories are cherry picked. And the ultimate goal is to get you angry and say how terrible it is. And you know what's interesting? We live in an even heavier, fatter society. They did the one statistic that I thought resonated is going into that show when it started in 2003 or 4, whenever it was like 33% obese in this country, and now it's 45. So it hasn't gotten any better. It's actually gotten quite a bit worse. We're even more sedentary. We eat even crappier foods. We have even more chemicals going into our bodies. So I find that interesting. They looked at the science of these people had their metabolisms were 4 or 5 times slower than they should have been. And they were already like after doing the massive amount of weight loss. It's the same as when somebody wins a lottery. Often they go back to being broke afterwards because they're mentally 6 months probably, or a couple months is not enough time to fully change the individual, plain and simple. And there was one error that even my buddy Big Vin pointed out that they talked about during the documentary. A lot of them said, why not have a post-show care group? Why not have something where they continue with the 400 people that went through the show, take some of the billions of dollars, which the show made over $1 billion, and just set aside something to make sure that they get the aftercare they need to keep their stories going. I think that was probably the biggest mistake the show made. But some of them, like one woman clearly made it about race, that it was like she had never had somebody talk to her like that, and she was going to be the angry black woman, and she didn't want to be the angry black woman, and they thought that this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, her partner, who was also black, had a phenomenal experience on the show. So they chose that because they needed their little dose of racial issues. And then you had the people that simply didn't want to be called fat. You signed up for a TV show called The Biggest Loser that you knew was going to have to motivate you in a lot of different ways. You get what you signed up for. There was one woman that was an ex-police officer in New York City that battled her weight, ended up, she said there was nothing good that came of the show. She's now on Ozempic. And I'm like, I'm watching this and it's like, man, they chose the 5 biggest victims. Actually, no, 4 biggest victims. Because one guy simply said, yeah, I kept eating afterwards and that's on me. The other, and the one guy was somewhere in between. And then the other 3 were just straight victim cards, which was ridiculous. And they had the two women didn't bother me much. They were decent. But across the board, the ones that they gave the most attention to were the ones that for lack of a better term, were soft. I hate to say it. And they did this to come again. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, Kelly says. I don't quite know how that relates to that, but yes. Lots of distractions today. That's what I got for you guys. So if you watch the documentary, watch it with a discerning eye. I encourage you to go to my buddy Big Vin Official. It's in the comments. Go ahead and check out that page and see what he had to say about his experience. And he was very clear that he wasn't trying to minimize the truth that these people had. That is their truth and what they went through. But he gave his example of the show, and to remember that there was 500 people that went on, and they only looked at a small handful. So just know Netflix doesn't care about balance. It's about buzz. And that's not Netflix. That's Fox News. That's CNN. That's ABC. That's all television. That's just the way that it is. So don't believe that is a full look at it. And ultimately, if you had the choice of what I wanted to know is out of the 400 people on the show, how many people are still alive? That's my question. That was my big question. So, and I don't think I saw that on there. Anyways, Don't confuse drama with truth. Netflix tends to sell both. It's not entertainment, or it's entertainment, not gospel. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of your day. You just won. Let's see. I won the lottery just last January. It's in the bank. Nice. Biggest Loser was a game. I mean, it was people's lives. I think it was more than a game. And then the 70. Yeah, I remember. There's the last thing, and then I gotta hop off. There's a photo at the Texas State Fair that I always used to look at this restaurant across the street, and it was hilarious to me. I'm like looking at this, and I'm comparing it. It was the 1960s, comparing it to today, and like there was one person in the photo that was my size, like my weight. Everybody else was thinner, and I'm like, that's fascinating to think about. So anyways, guys, God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. If you want to get in on the boot camp, this is a last call. If I don't see people sign up by tonight, we're probably going to call it. We've only got a couple people in. It will be very intimate. Go to speakingbootcamp.com. Use 100 off for $100 off. And then tonight it is doubledownspeaking.com, the last free Wednesday night workshop. And then we're taking next week off and starting the program the week after. The link for Wednesday, Shirley, is doubledownspeaking.com. It should be in the description. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you later.